Welcome back, everyone, to my weekly series where I introduce you to new games to check out on Roblox. This is episode number 37. That means there are 36 other episodes. If you're new to this series, definitely go check them out. I will link them on the top right as well as in the description below. Kind of light this week. I don't know why. Maybe not a lot of games being launched right now. I don't know. But either way, we got some cool games. If you enjoyed discovering new games on Roblox and want to support the series, please hit that like button. Also subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos like this one. So as usual, we're going to start out with the friendly games, and then we'll get into a little bit more into like the shooters and such and scary games a little bit later in the video. So first up, we have a game called Super Block 64. It's kind of like Super Mario Brothers, but on Roblox. It has kind of its own signature, though. It's not like it's copying Mario. It just has some similarities. What I like about this game is it's got really nice movement. I didn't really have any trouble like figuring out. There's lots of ways you can kind of jump and move around, so you can get up to really high places. It's kind of like a parkour obby style game where you just need to go around collecting points and various like fragments, and then you also need to, you know, find all the checkpoints. They give you a really nice tutorial at the start, so you're not going to be worried about like, how do I jump high? How do I do cliff hangs? How do I wall hop? All that kind of stuff. It's pretty smooth going, and they've got some really cool mobs as well. I really like that, you know, you have to do like a smash on them. It's kind of cool, but really like this game. Definitely check it out if you're into like platformer kind of world discovery, or you like Mario Brothers. You're going to dig this one. I will link this game as well as all of the upcoming games in the description below. If you want to check out any of these games I'm about to show you, I always link them in the description, so check in the description if you're looking for it. Our next game is called Track Field Infinite, and it's pretty much as described. It's a track field kind of racing game. It's really cool. So you got like different mini games for track and field. So it feels kind of like a Olympic style game. And you got like your 200 meter dash. You got like your 400 meters. You got hurdles you got to do. You got long jumps. There's all sorts of like mini games that you have to compete for the best place or best time or best distance. I haven't played any of like the long jumps or anything like that, but I have done the hurdles. I've done the dashes, and I can say it's pretty difficult. It's really difficult to get good in this game. I think a lot of people end up cheating, and you'll see a lot of notifications on the bottom right of them getting kicked because they're either teleporting around or they're using macros or, you know, auto clickers or whatnot. So it's pretty cool that they're policing that. The downside is people figured out like what the limit is, and I think they're still macroing because some of these players are like unbelievably fast. Maybe they're just like really fast at tapping, but man, I was using my keyboard trying to hit that Q and E to be able to sprint, and my fingers are destroyed. It's really painful to race in this game. But what I like about it is it's not your typical simulator. It's not like you go and like farm pets to be able to be faster runner. You don't build strength. You don't keep getting points to become stronger. No, it's literally just keyboard smash and hope that you win. Pretty cool. Like if you like that kind of competition, you're into like Olympic style games and challenges, definitely check out Track Field Infinite. Now, our next game is an RNG game, but before you click off the video, because I know a lot of people hate RNG games. I know, I get it. They got a bad reputation. I get it. But this game is not like your typical RNG game. It is actually really, 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 really fun. And you just need to keep watching and you'll see what's going on. This game is an RNG in that it's a tycoon. But unlike other tycoons where you got to get like your starter dropper and then you make some money and then you got to buy another dropper and you buy another part here and there, you just roll for them for free. You literally get different droppers for free. You get upgraders for free, and you also get sellers, you know, like the sell pad for free. So how it works is you can upgrade your tycoon for different charts or conveyor kind of build. So you don't go around like running over like buttons and your typical tycoon. Your tycoon is already predefined based on the level. So you start out with a very basic dropper slot, and then you got an upgrader slot, and then you've got a sell slot. So basically level 1, you only have 3 things you can do. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to spin or roll for a possible dropper or sell pad or upgrade. These have different values on them. So like if you get really lucky and get like a 1 in 10,000 dropper, it might give you like 1,000 money, like coins or dollars, whatever you want to call it inside this game. So you're basically these little orbs that you're dropping they call them ores. They have a chance to get really expensive. And then of course your upgrader can have like multipliers, you know, one could be like a times, 30 or whatever. And then your sell pad can also have a multiplier. So like my sell pad had like times 30, for example. On top of that, it gets really strategic. This is not your dry like tycoon where you got, okay, you roll and you roll and you roll, and then you get like a, times 100, and it's just math. No, there's actual like abilities, and it's very, very particular on how you set up your droppers. Some droppers might like drop something that has like flame effect on it. So what's good about that and bad about that is you can add upgraders that can combine off of flame, but some upgraders can cause vulnerability to destroy ores. It can get pretty complicated. Not in a way that's not fun. It's very complex, more than what you would expect out of an RNG game. And then as you get more money, you can upgrade your essentially your tycoon. And there's different upgrades for your tycoon. You can get like luck multipliers. You can also upgrade your tycoon to have more droppers. They can also have more upgraders, which adds that additional complexity to the game because you're combining all of these droppers and different effects with each other. And it's really important that you get like the right combination of things. Now, of course, as long as you're just putting stuff that's not going to get destroyed, you're fine. But I was like losing like so many ores because they were all on fire and they kept burning and getting deleted. So this game has a lot of layers to it and depth that is beyond most tycoons that I've played. So just in that alone, it's an awesome tycoon. Now add another layer to that. There's also crafting in here, so you can craft different auras. Those auras will give you basically multipliers, and you can get upgrades that way. You get more luck. You can also get these little these cubes basically spawn around the map, and those are basically boosts that you can use to get like faster spins. You can also get increased luck for a bit, so you can use those inside your inventory, or you can use those boosts to craft auras. So this game is a lot of fun. I really got stuck playing it for about like 20 minutes just trying to get a video done, but it kind of went a little bit over that because I was having fun. So if you dig tycoons, especially like island style, factory style tycoons, definitely check out Tycoon RNG. Now our next game is another RNG. I know, don't click off yet, okay? I usually say no to RNG games. I will tell you that. Like I get a lot of RNG recommendations from people. Typically speaking, if I jump in there, it's your typical RNG game, I'm basically out of there. I'm not gonna play it. This game is kind of cool though. So it is called Dungeon RNG. It's a little bit grindier. It's a little bit more AFK than the previous one. A little bit simpler in some ways as well. But sometimes that's kind of nice. It has a little bit of a simulator feel to it. And in Dungeon RNG, you spin for swords and you go into these like simple, like wave-based dungeons. You've probably seen some games like this on my channel before. And you go in there, you just need to try to beat the boss and then you unlock the next stage. So, you know, there's like 10 waves you need to be able to beat. And if you beat those 10 waves, then you unlock a craftable recipe. As long as you have the different sword items inside your inventory, you can craft that. Basically, it's like a jewelry. So you can get like this, you know, item that's going to, or relic, that's going to help you with your luck so you can get better swords and become more powerful. And the whole goal is, of course, to unlock all of them, try to get the best swords. So it's pretty straightforward if you like this kind of style game, especially if you just like Dungeon Raider style games where you just have to complete all the different waves. The downside is it does slow down quite a bit for you a little bit later. So if you don't like AFK games, this might not be for you, but I really enjoyed it for the time I was in it. It is by my friend Poinball. So if you're familiar with like Please Buy Me, yeah, that was his game. So definitely check out Dungeon RNG. It's really cool. Now, our next game is pretty cool. So it is called Destroy the World, and it has a little bit of a Doomspire feel to it. So if you like Super Doomspire or just even the old classic Doomspire, this game is worth checking out. So there's like 4 different modes in it. There's a classic mode where you just basically need to go around and destroy your opponent's checkpoints, just like in Doomspire. And of course, you can use your classic weapons, RPGs, swords, things like that. You got your bombs. You're just going to go around killing your opponents or the other team's spawn points. As long as you can eliminate everyone else's spawn points and then of course eliminate the final players, you win. And then there's some others like Knockout where you just need to kill all the other players. You get like 3 lives each, and as long as you get everyone out, then basically you win. Infection's kind of like that too, but the difference with Infection is you want to kill players to get them onto your team. So if you kill a player, they essentially go to your team. So if I'm on blue, for example, and I kill a player on red, now they're going to be on a blue team, and eventually it just becomes really hard for other teams to win because you're killing everyone, converting them to your team. It's pretty cool. There's one other mode, I can't remember what it was, but yeah, this game is really cool. If you like just kind of that style, casual, you like being able to break walls and stuff with rockets and stuff, destroy basically the map, definitely check out Destroy the World. Our next game is called Pressure, and if you remember a while back, I made a video on this during its testing. It kind of went in testing, and then it came back out of testing, then it went back in testing, and went back out, and it's finally out. In fact, I think most people know this by now because they have 22,000 players as of this video. Yeah, it's a cool game. It's one of the best Doors style inspired games out there, besides maybe even Haunt. I thought Haunt was really cool too. This game is just on its own level. Essentially, you go underwater. You're like going into like this deep ocean type base. So you take a submarine to an underwater base and you've got all kinds of like crazy entities. And I did make a full video of this game, like, geez, it must have been like 6 or 8 months ago. It feels like it. And it was a lot of fun. I raved about it to everyone, and Pressure's finally out. I didn't believe it when people told me, hey, DV, you gonna play Pressure? And I'm like, not out yet. And they said, yes, it is. I was like, no, it's not. And then I checked, and sure enough, it was out. It's so good that it's got like a 95% rating. So if you like Doors and you just want to see an upgrade version of Doors, like just totally, you know, up to date, modern, yeah, this is a really good game. Check out Pressure. Probably the best game in this list. It's just so good. Next up is a new shooter that I found called Scorched Earth, and it looks really good. It's just kind of weird good. So it's kind of like that blocky style characters. You remember Bad Business? It kind of has that Bad Business feel to it. There's another game that was like this. Not Scorched Earth, but I think it was like Aces. I forgot the name. It was like Ace something. I know I featured it in a previous video, and I'm just not feeling like wanting to go back and find it. But this game's got it all. You got the digging, you know, you can use a shovel in the terrain so you can kind of build defenses. And the whole goal is to basically attack and defend. Much like Battlefield, there's like a million games like this nowadays. But you just need to go and conquer the different zones, take over the zones, get the most tickets, and you win. The controls are really weird in this game. Mostly the movement, actually. It's not even the controls. The aim system is pretty good. It's a little bit harder than, like, say, Rivals or your typical shooter. But I think that adds a little bit of charm to it. It's a little bit more realistic in that sense. In some ways, it reminds me of Centaura, but not so much. But yeah, it's a really cool game. It's like World War II, Axis versus Allies. You know, old school weapons. You can build stuff. You can dig into terrain. There's another game that kind of reminds me of this too. It's called Trenches. If you haven't seen that yet, it's a really good game. But yeah, Scorched Earth, check it out. Pretty cool. Another shooter that you need to check out is called Airsoft Battles. This game is by the same developer of Warfare Tycoon. Basically, big paintball meets airsoft. I mean, it's just different. You know, I really like the weapons. I like the map. Very simple game. It's not quite like your Rivals. I think Rivals taking over Roblox right now. If you missed that last week, I also made a dedicated video playing with the devs. That game is definitely king, I think, of shooters right now. If you want a really good shooter, go play Rivals or watch last week's episode. But Airsoft Battles is really cool. Nice alternative if you're looking for something new. And finally, we have Graveyard Shift, and this is a story horror game where you need to go and investigate some suspected grave robbers. And that kind of just goes downhill very quickly. They have a lot of jump scares. I was surprised. It did get me a couple times, but mostly because I didn't want to die. I didn't think it was that scary, but I definitely didn't want to die, especially when I'm trying to record a video. But you're using a flashlight that tends to try to jump scare you with a lot of different sounds and flickering and stuff. So lots of flashing lights style game, lots of crazy loud sounds to try to jump scare you. And essentially you need to, you know, follow the trail and follow the story. I don't really want to, you know, spoil this because I know you all complain when I do, but kind of cool game. If you're looking for another scary story game, check out Graveyard Shift. Anyway, that's it for this week. I know only 9 games, but it's been light lately. It's just not, there's not that many games out right now that are coming out.